just clapping for you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I know I'm a very important person.
Hello and welcome back to the Peculiar Place podcast. We have our second guest this month. This is Matt.
Hello.
You guys already knew that. Everyone requested Matt to be on the podcast, so he finally is here. He agreed.
Agreed. Usually hiding in the corner, not wanting to join any of her antics.
He's like, why am I doing this right now? Why did I agree to do this?
Yes, you're lucky I like you.
Thanks, Matt. So yeah, we have been friends for a long time. Mm-hmm. I think at this point, maybe 13 years. I haven't done the math, but I'm guessing maybe 13 years, 13, 14 years.
At least close friends since grade 12.
Yeah.
But we've known each other since grade 9, so...
Is that 15 years now?
Almost 16.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've known each other for a long time. We went to an art high school. We're not going to say the name because, like, it's a small school.
Yeah.
Everyone knows everyone there.
Yeah.
But yeah, we auditioned for the art program, which I know you didn't last very long in.
I lasted till grade 12. Was I good at art? That is the question.
I think you were good.
I don't think I was.
You were very abstract with your art.
I was just trying to survive. That's what it was.
Yeah.
I don't think I was necessarily good. I think I passed by.
Yeah.
And just made it out alive.
It was a strict and kind of difficult program. Like, the way that it went is if you wanted to go to this high school, you had to be in the boundaries.
Yes.
And you and I weren't in the boundaries.
We were just, like, right outside the boundary.
Right. So if you wanted to get into this school and you were out of the boundaries, you had to audition to either be in the art program, the dance program, or the music program.
Yes.
Right? So you had to, like, go in
and
one
drama.
day. Oh, and drama. It had, like, everything, like, arts-oriented. So you had to go in one day and audition. And for ours, I remember we sat in this big room, and I think we had to draw fruit.
Like, do a still life.
Yeah.
And you had to come in and present... I think it was 10 of your artworks present it to the teachers. That's
right.
what it was.
Oh, yeah, we had a list of, like, things that we had to draw. Like, one was, like, a little boy chasing a red ball. Do you remember that one?
No.
It was, like, so specific.
I feel like I might have actually blocked out some of that time of, like, what we had to do for the audition.
Yeah.
Because it was a lot of work to put on, like, a 13-year-old.
It was a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
And, like, back then, everyone spoke of this school as, like, the best thing you can get into. Like, it was really highly sought after. So I think the pressure was there.
For me, it was really highly sought after. And, like, a lot of people were applying. And then it just kind of made me think, because, like, you're a lot more creative and artistic than I am. I'm not very artistic.
I think in different ways.
I don't feel like I'm very artistic in general. So then I felt like I was a very low tier. Like, I was maybe one of the last to get in.
Okay.
Like, I got my acceptance, but I wasn't on the, like...
Were you on the waiting list, or were you... Oh, you just... So you still got
Yeah.
in. Some people were on the waiting list, I think.
Yeah, it was just surprising that I actually got in. Like, I didn't think I would.
But I didn't think so either, because, I mean, you know our classes. There are some very... Like, I can even name them in my head right now.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
Some of those people.
And some of those people are still doing art to this day. And even, like, one of the drama kids I know is, like, out releasing movies, stuff like that, and they're directing. Like, I didn't really think people would stick with art after high school because I didn't, so.
There were some very talented people there, but I remember when I got the acceptance email, I cried.
I think I cried too.
I cried. I just couldn't believe it.
But the biggest reason I think I cried was because I was afraid to go to the Catholic high school where I was known for, like, beating up kids, and I cried because I didn't want to get beat up. I was like, oh my god, I'm going to a school that, like, I know I'm not going to get bullied or picked on or, like, beat up at. Like, it made me happy that I didn't have to go to the alternative.
Yeah, like, my alternative wasn't good either.
Yeah.
So I think we were afraid.
Yeah.
So it worked out.
There was a Catholic one, but the public one, the other alternative public one, we would have been at the same high school if we both didn't get in anyway. So we would have known each other in some sort of capacity.
So anyway, yeah, we were in the same art program, and we didn't really talk for the first couple years. Like, we had similar friend groups, I think, in the art class that we kind of knew each other from, but we weren't that close.
Yeah.
I was also, like, if you guys think I'm quiet now,
She was really quiet.
Did not speak.
I thought Jess was mute for, like, the first 2 years.
Yeah, I didn't speak to anyone, really. I had friends, but, like, even my friends were as quiet as me.
Yes, most of your friends were very quiet. But we were in, like, the same... I remember in grade 9, we were in like the same row.
Oh, yeah, we were.
It was like me, someone else, someone else, you.
Yeah, I'd say we were like acquaintances. Like we'd maybe like speak every once in a while.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until, I think like end of grade 11, grade 12.
Photography.
Oh my gosh, yeah. We had the same photography class. Our teacher was crazy. I did a story time on our teacher. She used to yell at me all the time. All the time.
Oh, yeah, she did.
Oh my
I don't
God.
know why she was yelling at you.
Only me, and I'm a quiet person. But like one time she accused me of stealing the class's mark sheet. Do you remember that?
I probably skipped.
You probably.
I did skip a lot, so.
No, she like.
I remember you telling me about this. So like a week after or something like that, or a couple days after.
Yeah.
Or like one of our friends saying, "Yeah, apparently Jess is being accused of stealing the mark sheet." I was like, "But she doesn't talk."
And like, what would that benefit me?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I know that like you got like an 80 and someone else got whatever. Why do I care?
Yeah, it's so out of characteristic for you to do that anyways.
I know.
The quiet girl in the class is stealing the mark sheet. Like, she talks to 2 people, really. And even then, she's saying, like, 6 words, maybe in a whole class.
I know. And what was the other thing? We had to, like, take photos of, I don't know what it was, but I went to my cousin's, I think it was it her baptism or her, what's it called when babies get a dedication? I mean, you're not religious, so you probably wouldn't even know. But it's like where babies get the water on their forehead.
That's a baptism.
No, because I got baptized when I was 12, but I had something as a baby. Is it a dedication? I don't remember.
Communion?
No.
No, because communion's great,
was when you're older. Yeah, anyway, I went to my cousin's thing and I was taking pictures of this baby who was getting like whatever it was. And she told me that it wasn't my cousin. She's like, these aren't pictures of your cousin. And I'm like, yes, they are. Where do you think I got them from? And she's like, I don't believe you. I don't know when these were taken. I don't know. And so my mom had to like write her a note and be like, this is our literal family. Mm-hmm. Like, she's not, who do you think these are from?
Yeah.
I'm going to plagiarize some baby in a church?
That is strange.
It was so weird. I did not like that class.
Honestly, I didn't like the program just in general.
Yeah.
The teachers were extremely rough. There was only 1 or 2 that I actually did like. They didn't know how to teach.
They were so strict for no reason.
They were strict. Like, Glee did not set us up properly, telling us, like, oh, you're going to an arts high school. It's going to be so fun. It was not fun to do this work.
Yeah.
And that's why I had to drop out by grade 12, because I was like, I just can't do this anymore. Like, these teachers are absolutely rude.
I didn't know that in grade 12 you were allowed to step down from the art program.
So, second semester you could.
Maybe I would have done that.
So, I dropped out the second semester of grade 12.
Oh, so you lasted pretty long.
I lasted all 4 years, technically. I just didn't make it to the last semester, but I was also I was in sciences, though, because I was trying to better my grades to get into university and stuff like that, too, and I wanted a spare. So
Right. We love spares.
Yeah.
Remember we had that art teacher who, like, and it was supposed to be, like, super creative and abstract. Didn't she eat a pear or something, and then she spit it out or, like, threw it up?
Oh, yeah.
And we were all sitting there like, are you really throwing up this fruit right now for art class?
Yeah, that was grade 10.
Yeah, and she acted like it was this whole, like, amazing story that she was doing, but she was just chewing on a fruit, and then she was spitting it out.
Yeah.
We were like, why?
I'm all for the art world. Love it. I get it. Raised in it. But, like, there's some stuff that just pushes a boundary. I'm like, that's not art. That is just vomit. Like, I'm
literally. I hope no one in the class was, what is it, emetophobic? Emetophobia? I think that's, like, fear of throwing up. Of, watching someone throw up.
But even then, that's kind of, like, germy too.
Yeah.
Like, I have a pretty high tolerance when it comes to vomit and germs and stuff like that. But, like, I don't want to be around somebody that's just, like, doing this for show. Like,
and what is that teaching us?
Yeah. You can't chew.
What was the point?
You can't digest your food? Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Like,
no, crazy.
It's gross.
We have so many stories from that high school. Yeah. But yeah, we became close in grade 12. We went to parties together. Mm-hmm. That was, I think, how we got the closest. Parties.
Yeah.
Which sounds awful.
No.
But it was fun.
Yeah, it was fun. I would say that's how I end up getting close with most of my friends, was through parties. You kind of just
you're young.
meet them and kind of go from there.
Yeah, it was super fun. So we, like, partied for, like, a good 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
Constantly.
I
have so many photos on Facebook. I showed some last time with Elena, but, like, we were wild. We were wild.
I know.
I don't know if my parents know yet. I'm sure they do. But we replaced some of their bottles with water.
Oh, 100%. Same with my parents. They know that. My dad was like, are you going to buy us new alcohol? And I was like, no, you signed up for this. I'm sorry. You had children.
My dad would literally, like, we had, like, a alcohol cabinet, and he would lock it. And I always knew where he put the key. Always. I don't know if he knows this yet, but he would always put it underneath the cutlery. Like, you know how there's, like, the cutlery, like, things?
Yeah.
I would always find it. And it was the first place I looked. And I was like, wow, Dad, You really tried hard.
Such a bad spot.
So like, every time I would be able to just open it, I would close it again and like fill it with water, and he just didn't, or he did know and he just didn't want to bother me with it.
So my parents had like the cabinets like this.
Yeah.
And there was 2 handles that were side by side, and they had and it was like around up to here on me and like shelves.
Yeah.
But they would put like a bicycle like chain on it.
Oh my gosh.
We had no idea where the key was, which is fine. Keep your kids away from alcohol.
Yeah.
But the stupid part about this was you could pull out the 2 handles with the chain wrapped around it and stick your hand all the way up the cabinet and pull bottles down.
So you were doing that?
We were pulling bottles down. Then we would mark it before we drank it to like where the line was.
Yeah.
Erase the line after we filled it with water, and because my arms were skinny enough, I could push them all the way back up to the very top and put them in the exact spot.
Oh my
at this point, you had to like also remember, because we didn't have like really good cameras back then. You had to remember how they were faced. Like you had to do like a visual analysis of it.
Oh my gosh.
So we were just there like kind of like putting it in the position where like we think it was this, because my parents were very strict when it came to
really
alcohol.
That surprises me, because you had so many house parties that it just seemed like they were all cool with it.
They were cool with it once I was like 18, I would say.
But not when you were like 15.
No, they were not.
Which is understandable.
They were still trying to enforce that, like, you can't steal alcohol from us. And I was like, well, you're not making it hard to do that.
Right, it is morally wrong.
Yeah.
Even if they're okay with you drinking, like, stealing's never okay.
Yeah.
But we didn't care.
No. I can understand why my parents did it, and I do the same for my children. I just do it better.
Exactly.
That's what it is.
Or we're just pros.
I wouldn't consider myself a pro, honestly.
I was a pro. I was climbing up. The ones, it was on top of the fridge. I had to go up to open the thing. I was a monkey.
I wouldn't say I was a pro. I would say that it wasn't hard to break into my parents' stash.
Okay.
Yeah.
I hope they don't watch this. But they know now.
My parents know.
Yeah.
I'm almost 30.
I think our parents always knew.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. They always knew. They're smarter than we think.
Oh, yeah. They 100% know. Like, we've had conversations about it, too.
Yeah.
Like
we're 30. Like,
yeah.
Well, you're not 30 yet. You're not 30? You just turned 29.
You aren't 30 yet either, so what are you talking
I have, like, 2 more weeks.
That's your fault.
That's my fault for being born so early. It's my parents' fault. They got freaky in the summertime.
Mine got freaky right around your birthday.
Valentine's Day. Wow. Yeah. Think about that a little bit.
Yeah, while you were just coming out, I was just being conceived.
Yeah, every Valentine's Day, you can rethink that.
I know.
Enjoy being 29. Yeah. Valentine's Day, born man. That doesn't make any sense. Conception man.
Conception man. Just every time we celebrate your birthday, I'm like, I've been conceived.
Yeah, exactly. We should celebrate that. Yeah. Forget about me being 30. Friends. Then we did a couple of videos together. Actually, more than a couple. We did a handful of videos for the Decade Candy.
Yes.
Which is where most people know you from. We were doing like 1910s candy, 1920s, 1930s, and like 90% of the time it was disgusting.
Oh, they were so gross.
But that's why it was funny.
And they were also like expired.
Yeah, because how do you get candy from that era?
I don't know. They were
some is being reproduced, but I feel like some were definitely.
They were like some of them were hella expired though.
100%.
I did not feel well after.
We had like a barf bag on hand.
Yeah.
It was fun though.
It was fun to do. Would I do it now? No, I don't care to.
Damn, because I just got this whole box of candy to do right now.
Love it. Thank you. Just what I wanted. The grossest candy of them all.
And then in 2016, I somehow convinced you to go on tour with me. It was 2 weeks of just me, my family, us in a tiny little bus, in a tiny little hotel room. You're like, memories.
Yes, trauma.
Trauma. Honestly, though, a little bit.
That was a lot.
For different reasons. I know, like you, it's probably hard to be with a family consistently for 14 days.
Yeah.
For me, my ex was being an absolute asshole.
Yes.
Which we don't have to really get into, but you were kind of our mediator.
And I'm not a very good mediator.
But you were good. You were good because...
Which is surprising because I have a short fuse. So...
You do. You definitely do.
And I'm a bit too blunt.
Yeah, I think you and my mom got in a couple tiffs. She acknowledges and you acknowledge and everything's fine now.
Yeah, she's still like my second mom.
Yeah,
so
she loves you.
Yeah.
And I think she loves you because you're a firecracker.
Yeah.
But yeah, my ex on that trip, we got into so many fights and Matt would be like, okay, both you guys in the hallway now.
Yeah.
And you would like just talk us through it and try and work it out. It didn't work out in the end. But at the time, it made us stable enough for the tour.
Yeah, no. Y'all were both pissing me off. And I was like, we can't be here fighting.
I know. It was toxic.
Because the minute that, especially on the tour, that if two people started fighting, it just snowballed. And it was going to continue to snowball. And then it would ruin the mood of the day because you're stuck in this little ass van. Am I allowed to swear on
Yes,
that?
you can.
This little ass van. And you have to sit beside them. And it's just like your whole mood's thrown off from there.
Yep.
And then, like, you guys were arguing, and, like, your parents would see it too. And then if the ex-boyfriend, he'd get siloed out at points. And I didn't want that happening because I know what it's like to be the outcast of that. And it's nothing against your family. But there always will be in your court, not the other person's. That's the thing.
You're very inclusive, and I think that's why you were good at being a mediator, because you listen to both sides, you try and make things right, and that's good.
Yeah.
Because if you were just all on my side, which I know secretly you were.
Yeah. Honestly, like.
I think it just, it helps everyone feel comfortable. But, like, 14 days is longer than you think, but it was a really good time. Like, I enjoyed all of it. Like, we had good conversations on stage.
Yeah.
We have good memories. I got, like, photos of you, like, dropping bananas on the ground. Do you remember that?
No.
You would, like, peel bananas and they would fall on the ground, and I'd have, like, videos of you laughing because there's a banana unpeeled on the floor.
No.
You don't remember these things?
I don't remember that at all. Not at all.
But you shared a room with my grandfather who snored so loud.
Oh, my gosh.
And so I think the final straw, we were in Ottawa, I think, on our very last venue. And you got your own room.
Yeah.
You were just like, I don't even care.
Yeah, no. I'm not a... like, I'm an insomniac as it is.
Yeah.
And I fully admit that. And I'm a very light sleeper.
Yeah.
For your grandfather, it was just way too much. I'm like, I've seen you for like 12 days now. I'm getting tired of hearing you snore. And I had to share a bed with your ex-boyfriend. And he's listening to like death metal. And I'm like, I can't sleep.
It was a lot.
Even putting earbuds in for me, I could not sleep. It just was not a good time. And then I remember I messaged your dad being like, hey, by the way, I got my own room and I'll stay in there for the next couple of nights. Woke up in the morning, he's like, I think Matt left. And then like you like called me. I was like, no, I literally told your dad.
I thought you like ditched the tour, and I'm like, he has one more night. He has one more show. He couldn't make it that long, but yeah, you were there.
Yeah, I don't have the ability to be a flake, and it was like getting very close to like I need my own time by myself and to sit there in a room and just like watch whatever's on television at this point. I don't want to be around a bunch of people. I don't want to be listening to snoring. And like I think I paid like something like $700 for the 3 nights for those rooms.
Yeah, because it was a nice hotel.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you were there because it was good in the end. The shows were fun. And you had fun at the shows.
I had fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you do it again? In the States?
I would think about it.
On the coast?
Not in the winter.
No.
I would think about it because it all depends on my job right now.
Right,
and,
right.
Like, everything that I'm doing, I wouldn't necessarily say yes right away.
Yeah.
Like, you know me, even for me to be in, like, on the podcast with you, I'm not a big person to be in online in your face. Like,
yeah. No, I get that.
I like my privacy and anonymity. Is that what it is?
I don't know.
Like being anonymous a bit more.
I don't know.
I don't like to have a big social media presence just in general.
Yeah, no, I know that about you for sure.
And I don't like to encroach on your work.
But I think that's why you and I are close friends, and why I asked you is because you're not all about the fame and like the growth of social media. You've never been like that. So I never have to worry that that's why you're doing things.
Yeah.
You know? I almost feel like it'd just be more fun for us to just travel for fun.
Yeah.
Because you enjoy that. I don't do it very often, and I would like to. Like, we're talking about going to Estonia.
Yeah.
They have a song and dance festival called Lalupidu, and it's going to be in 2025.
Next year, yeah.
So we're going to go do that, and I'm so excited about that because that's where my family's from, and, like, I also want to go to Scotland.
Yeah.
That's, like, my goal. Castle hopping. We're going to do it.
I would love to do castle hopping.
Yeah, so I have some, like, bucket list places I want to go to, and I know you're always down to travel.
Yeah.
Last thing about us is that we both like books.
Yes.
Which is great because, like, none of my friends like books. Like, my sister does, which is good, but, like, no one else
and
likes
it's funny
books.
because we didn't realize that both of us like books until last year, which is hilarious because we've known each other for like 14 years.
I know.
Yeah.
And one day I'm like, oh, you read?
Yeah.
No offense.
And I was like, wait, you have a Goodreads? I was like, you have time to read? You're like, that's all I do is read.
I get off work and literally from like 6 p.m. to 12, I'm reading. That's why I read so much.
Yeah.
Because I don't do anything else.
Yeah. But it's funny because 95% of the time, our styles and books do not line up.
No. I think the only thing that lines up is historical fiction.
Yes.
You and I both like that. But everything else, like, you don't like fantasy. I read about fairies and dragons, and that's not really your thing.
No, I'm more like dystopians and like character-driven books. I don't care for fantasy like that. Like,
That's fair.
You're big into like the fairies and Lord of the Rings and stuff like that. And honestly, I could give two shits about it.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't intrigue me at all.
That's fair.
I guess my style of books is more dry
So you like
and boring.
realistic like fiction, like based on real events a lot of the time?
I would say that's definitely one of them.
Yeah.
But when you hit like the dystopian apocalyptic, it's
Yeah.
not. I like destruction.
Okay. Good.
But
That's healthy.
yeah, it's healthy. Like, I read a lot of the like World War II stuff too.
Yeah.
But it's like based on true stories, but it's still fiction.
Historical fiction.
Yeah, so that kind of ties into destruction because somebody's getting like their life ruined somehow.
Right, and you're like, right on, let's keep reading this.
Yeah.
5 stars.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. I did give you a sci-fi recently that you liked. It's called Dark Matter.
Yes.
We both gave it 5 stars.
Yes, but Goodreads doesn't give you between 4 and 5.
So you would have done like a 4.5.
Yes.
Because it wasn't perfect.
I did not like the ending of it.
Okay.
The ending was stupid.
Okay.
That's just my thought. I know you love the book.
I love all parts of it.
I think it was a really good book. The ending, though, and I won't give spoilers away.
Yeah.
It was like, why is that the ending? Like, you could have done better.
Yeah.
There.
I feel that way with many books. Endings really make it or break it.
Yeah.
So I get that.
I think why I like the book so much is because that was more of a plot-driven book.
Yeah.
I mean, more character-driven book.
Yeah.
Like, the plot was there, but you could tell the depth of the character from there. So, but like, even my favorite book, you would think is boring anyway.
What's your favorite book?
Catcher in the Rye.
Oh, that's like a school book.
It's the best book.
I haven't read it though, so I can't say anything. But
a lot of people who I've recommended it to hate it. So the only one that I know that's like likes it and it's in their favorites is my mom.
Is that historical fiction?
No, it's just fiction. Like, the main character Holden, he lives in New York City and he's kind of like all moody and he's hitting the town and like he's like depressive and like hating his life and like he's just like talking about like how New York City isn't as great as it seems like, and it's a really good book. But I honestly don't think you would like it.
I've definitely heard of it. I know it's won like awards and stuff, so I know it's probably good. Okay, we're going to get into trending topics. This week, they're very weird. I mean, I feel like they're always weird topics. The first one is the theory of poop soulmates.
Okay. What is
this? So when you poop, this is very TMI, by the way.
I don't care. I have no boundaries. It's fine.
Okay. When you poop, sometimes there's nothing there when you wipe. Isn't it called like a ghost wipe?
Yeah.
Nothing's there, right?
Yes.
But sometimes when you go to the bathroom, it's like never ending. You're like, when will this end? Why am I a paintbrush? Right? Like, it won't stop. TMI, like I said.
Yeah.
So the theory is that everyone has a poop soulmate. So when you poop and you're wiping forever, it means you're wiping for your poop soulmate and they wipe and there's nothing there, and vice versa. So when you're wiping forever, your poop soulmate has a ghost wipe.
So you want to know what's interesting about this when you sent me the script?
What?
I was actually on the toilet while I was reading this.
That's so funny.
Yeah, so I had like my phone propped up when I'm on the toilet and I'm like reading stuff or like watching whatever I am.
Yeah.
And I'm like reading it and I was like, what the hell is this? I feel like it's just I don't know, it's too far-fetched.
It is far-fetched. I mean, it can't be real, but I like to think it's real. Like, I like to think like when I have a ghost wipe, someone's worked their ass off, no pun intended, for me to get to that point. And I'm like, thank you, whoever you are out there. Maybe you and I are poop soulmates. Have you had a good poop lately?
Like 4 times a day, yeah.
So maybe I'm wiping for you. Because lately...
You don't go often. No, you are not wiping.
I have IBS, so...
Yeah.
But I don't go often either.
You go like once a week.
I do.
You do not go often enough for us to be poop soulmates.
This is super TMI now.
Yeah.
I want all my subscribers to know how often I poo.
Yeah. No, I don't feel like it's a thing. And also, I don't want to picture somebody else wiping their ass while I'm doing the same thing.
Right.
It's just...
But think about how many people are on the toilet around the world at the same time as you.
I don't want to
Millions.
think about that, though.
Millions. But then you're not alone. You're not having a lonely poop.
But I don't want a lonely poop.
Okay.
You know how they have this thing where it's like, oh, guys spend so much time in the washroom, stuff like that.
Yeah, what are you doing in there?
Catching up on myself. I'm not having people talk to me.
That's your independent time?
That's my independent time. Like, that's my safe place.
It's your safe place?
I don't want to, like, the minute I come out of that washroom, there's going to be 6 things I need to do.
Okay.
And, like, my husband's going to want something. Or, like, if I had children, I'm preparing myself for children. If we have children, they're going to want something.
And you're going to want to go hide in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Like, leave me alone till I'm out.
Yeah, 100%. When I'm at work, I hide in the washroom and I sit there by myself and just recollect myself for like 15 minutes.
That's fair.
I don't want to be talking to people, and I don't want to be thinking about, I want to be lonely.
You want a lonely poop.
I want a lonely poop. I don't want a soulmate. That's just wrong. I'm sorry.
All right. Next, we have the ketchup challenge. This is a weird one. Okay. The theory is that if your partner was sitting beside you and you took a bottle of ketchup, tipped it upside down, and squeezed it, and poured it all over the counter, would your significant other clean it for you, or would they be like, what the hell are you doing?
He would not clean it.
He wouldn't clean it?
Not at all.
He would look at you and be like, get a napkin. And
he'd look at me, kiss his teeth, and walk away.
I asked Ty, and he was like, I wouldn't clean that for you.
Yeah, no. You made the mess.
Yeah.
You're gonna clean it. Oops, sorry.
It's okay, he'll beep it.
Yeah,
I totally agree. And like the whole theory is that like if they really love you, they'll clean it for you. Who's coming up with these things?
Okay, those are just single people who haven't been in long-term relationships. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
like,
I know.
If that's offensive to anybody, I don't care enough at this point. That is disrespectful to think that your partner will clean up after your mess.
Maybe the first date, if I was like, whoops, then maybe he would do it. But he'd also be like, he'd be looking at me like this as he was cleaning it.
If that was my first date with anybody and
like,
they did that, I'd be like, there's something wrong with you. And if you expect me to clean that up, you got the wrong guy. I'm sorry. That is your mess, your problem.
Totally.
Like, there's a difference. Like, if you've got to put the lid for the blender on the wrong way.
Yeah.
Like,
Accidents.
If it's an on purpose thing and you're testing me, no. Where, like, you have no trust in your partner.
Like, straight face, just squeezing the bottle, just looking at him. He'd be like, are you okay?
I'd literally, if they did that, I'd grab the bottle and flip it around and squeeze it in their face. Like, that is...
Or just flick it out of their hands and ketchup everywhere.
Yeah, oh my God, that is just ridiculous. Like, that people think that this is how relationships work. That is disrespectful, just in general.
Who's coming up with this stuff?
Yeah.
There is such thing right now as Burt's Bees ranch flavored or scented, I'm not sure, lip balm.
That's hilarious because we did like a Christmas exchange and one of the gifts was not that, but it was like a lip chap, but it was Dorito flavored.
Ew.
It was like, it had the nastiest smell.
Cheese.
It smelled like sewage. Like, it was so bad.
Moldy
because
cheese.
it was like one of those like white elephants that you get to like, like Kris Kringle, you kind of choose a gift and like swap it.
Aren't they supposed to be good gifts?
No, we do only bad gifts.
Oh, okay. I love that though.
Somebody ended up with like 6 cartons of eggs. But somebody useful
breakfast.
Somebody actually wanted it though because she was doing like Christmas baking
Omelets.
So she's like, great, I don't have to buy 6 cartons of eggs.
Yeah.
So somebody got this Doritos one, smelled so bad. So the girl goes and puts on her lips. She's like, this is like the weirdest texture too on my lips. You could smell her from like a mile away. We're like, go wash your lips. You smell gross. You look stupid with this.
You look stupid.
Like, it was so gross.
Was it orange on her lips too?
It was orange. It looked like she had cheese dust on her lips.
No. That's awful.
Yeah.
Well, with this, so it's a collab with Hidden Valley Ranch. And I actually love that ranch. But, like, why are you collabing with, like, lip balms? The flavors, so it's a 4-pack. Crunchy celery, fresh carrot, buffalo sauce, and, like, the regular ranch. And it's $11.99. And they sold out. And now they have a waiting list that you can go on if you want to eventually get one.
Can I see these flavors again? I'm
yes.
sorry. I think I like blocked out what you
said. It's like celery, carrots. That sounds awful. Like you're gonna.
What in buffalo sauce like
burn
your lips a bit?
Probably.
No.
I don't know how realistic they're going, but it sounds disgusting. But I do like ranch.
But why would you want that on your lips though?
Maybe you're about to eat like wings. And maybe if like, you know, there's ranch, you don't have to dip anything. You just kind of...
You should go get some and tell me how it is.
No.
Just so I can see how stupid you look with it.
I'll get on the waiting list right away.
Yeah.
There is a Wizards of Waverly Place reboot.
Perfect.
Did you not like the show?
No, perfect. Like,
I love so you're serious?
I'm serious. Perfect. Like, love it.
No, I will actually watch it.
Yes,
like
100%.
Most of the cast is coming back, like Selena Gomez, like all the people that we used to love.
Yeah.
Like this show ended, what, 10 years ago now or something?
Yeah.
Or probably more than that.
Yeah.
I love that show.
You know what was funny? That a lot of people for Wizards of Waverly Place didn't know that it was like the last season when Max becomes a little girl. People thought that Max, like, that was the same actor.
Oh.
And I was like, it's clearly like a 17-year-old boy went to like a 12-year-old girl. They thought that those two actresses were the same.
Oh my gosh, I barely remember that.
Yeah.
Like I only faintly remember that.
Yeah, and people are just like surprised that that was a thing. I'm all for the reboot. Like
Yeah, me
100%. It would be so great. But also the one thing that I do find a bit weird, though, not weird, but Zeke, he was Justin's best friend.
Okay, yep.
He has like a very risque Instagram.
Wait, didn't he go to jail?
Oh, maybe.
Maybe I'm thinking of someone else.
He has
Don't quote me.
Here, I'll pull up Instagram, but he has like a very risque Instagram and stuff like that.
Is he in the reboot? Maybe he's not in the reboot.
I don't know, but I just wonder, like, look at this Instagram. It's like he has like an only and stuff like that.
Oh.
So I wonder if they will bring him back because he's not like Family Channel Disney appropriate anymore.
His captions for these photos are something about bananas.
Yeah.
So I won't say it. Okay, I mean, he's got the bod. He's definitely got the bod, but it's very...
I don't really find him very attractive, to be honest. Not my type.
No, he's not my type either, but like, I mean, good for him for looking good.
He was saying like he was doing this to start like making money and stuff like that because like Disney kind of effed him over and stuff like that.
Did you say he has an only...
Yeah, he has an only from my understanding.
But yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I don't know who's coming back for sure, but I know it's a lot of the regular main cast. And I wonder if they're going to make it like for adults, like cater it to the people who grew up.
That'd be interesting if they did that.
I'd prefer that.
Yeah.
You know,
That'd be...
we're not kids anymore.
Yeah.
We're 30.
But do you think the reboot's really going to be that good? Because look at some of the other reboots they've done. Like
Zoe 101.
I didn't watch that. No, but they've done Zoe 101, Raven's House or something like that, Full House.
They were going to do Lizzie McGuire, but that fell through.
Which I'm kind of glad that it fell through because I don't think... Lizzie McGuire's fun, but I think like not everything needs a reboot.
Right.
Everything has a reboot now, and half the time the reboots are not as good. I can't think of a reboot that was.
I don't even think they need to do a Wizards of Waverly Place reboot, but I'll watch it. But I don't think it was necessary.
No,
it
was not necessary.
It is random.
Yeah, like I watched the Full House one, the Fuller House one.
Yeah.
And that was good the first season, but they went on like 6 seasons, and that it was just kind of like, why?
Yeah. They even did a Gilmore Girls one, which I watched.
That one was good, though.
That was so good, but I love Gilmore Girls. Like, nothing can go wrong. Like, make more.
Yeah.
I will always
watch
But I
think it was good, though, how they left it. Because they weren't going...
Oh, we can't spoil it.
Yes, we can't spoil it.
Are we thinking of the same thing?
Gilmore Girls, A Year in Life?
Yeah.
Yeah, they only did the 4 seasons. The 4...
Episodes,
yeah. But I think it's good that they just left it the 4 episodes. Because it kind of left it a bit anonymous.
Yeah.
And it at least answered some questions of where she is now.
Were you a Rory lover or a Lorelai lover? Think fast. No, how do you not come up with it quickly?
No. Okay, so...
You gotta be one.
I'm a Lorelai.
I'm a Lorelai, too.
I think Rory...
Is annoying.
But
I
liked her more in the beginning seasons.
Me too. When she was going to university and stuff, she was driving me nuts.
Yeah, but like unpopular opinion, like I'm Team Logan.
That's the blonde guy.
I'm Team Huntsberger. Yeah.
Okay, I like him.
I did not like Dean.
No.
Jess, like he's whatever.
I like Jess.
Yeah, of course you did.
I do. But Dean, no.
I am Team Logan 100%. And I know that a lot of people don't like that, but like...
No, I like Logan, but he's also the cutest.
Yeah.
I like him.
I don't know, though, but like the Jess actor, he's pretty cute now, too.
He is, yeah.
Yeah, have you seen him in This Is Us?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's like Mandy's like biggest crush, celebrity crush.
Yeah. Milo's.
Milo Mamos.
Yeah.
Yes, him. Let's talk about the imagination spectrum. So it is said that if you think about a picture in your head, or if you're reading a book and you're imagining or watching, well, it wouldn't be watching a movie, but you either see things clearly, very detailed, or it's a blurry silhouette, or you don't see anything at all in your mind.
Okay.
So picture a red apple.
Mm-hmm.
How crisp or clearly do you see it in your head?
Pretty clearly.
Okay, that's good. Because a lot of people, it's kind of 50-50. Sometimes when people read, they don't see anything. But for me, it's like a movie playing out in my head. So okay.
I see it pretty clearly. Like on this topic, there was something that I didn't know that some people don't have like internal monologues.
Oh, like as they go through the day, they're not thinking
like
through things?
Their thinking isn't like you have your narrator in your voice as you're thinking. It's like they're just feeling, and that's what makes them think.
Oh. Yeah, I have words.
So I have words, and then when I sometimes when I talk, I see the words. Or I see what I'm talking about. And I guess that kind of draws into here. Like, I see it pretty clearly.
Oh, I see what I'm thinking about. So, like, when I was picturing you guys coming today for the podcast, I would, like, envision you arriving, like, as I'm thinking about it. But I don't see the words that I'm thinking.
So, when, like, I talk to you, I see the words in my head.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
Yeah.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah.
But you see pictures clearly.
Yeah.
Because we'll put a picture on the screen of, like, the spectrum, and then you guys can comment, like, which one you are. I don't know if you saw the spectrum online, but it kind of goes from nothing to like faded apple to like clear full apple.
I don't know the spectrum.
It's 1 to 5.
I would probably be closer to 4 or 5.
Yeah, I'm a 4, I would say. Like, I don't see... It's so weird saying see because you're not seeing it.
Well, it's like your inner scene.
Yeah, isn't that weird? You can almost envision like a black space with a red apple.
Envision, that's a good word.
Is it like black for you and then you see a red apple?
Yeah, I would say that. Like, that's
so weird.
That's kind of what it is.
Or like, think of an elephant.
Yeah.
Are you picturing it in Africa or are you picturing it like in a black room?
I'm picturing it kind of like in a black room, kind
of
silhouette.
Me too.
But that's only like certain keywords. So if you were to describe a scene, I see the full scene.
Yeah, an elephant beside a waterfall drinking out of the clean water. Like, you can envision that.
But that kind of goes back to what I was saying about the word. So, like, when I speak or I hear other people speak, I, like, see the word sometimes.
That's interesting. Do you see auras or no?
I don't see auras, no. But, like, if I relax my eyes, I hypothetically could. But it's not going to be like I'm seeing like these grand auras. It's just like you kind of just see like an extended outline of somebody.
Well, right now you're purple because the room is purple.
Yeah.
But if I was a color, what color do you think I would be?
Like a mauve.
A mauve? Isn't that kind of reddish? It's like a deep red.
I thought it was like a
purplish
purple.
Red.
It's a purple because you're not like a very boisterous person.
Yeah.
Despite you having a YouTube career and being an influencer. But you're not a very boisterous person, but you're very subdued. I see your personality of like a mauve color.
I think you would be like a deeper blue, like a navy-ish royal blue.
Goes with my skin tone. Yes, I'll take it.
It actually would, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there is a story about a husband who accidentally ordered 200 chicken nuggets. And so they arrived at his house and he took a picture. We'll put it on the screen. And he had literally 200 chicken nuggets in all of these boxes on his table. And this is a quote from his wife. "My husband used DoorDash and hit the times 20 on the 10-piece nuggets."
I think that's the best scenario.
I mean, yeah, like who wouldn't want 200 chicken nuggets? I love chicken nuggets.
I think that's like fantastic, like good for him.
I think it was an accident, but like enjoy your lunch, dude.
Like you got lunch for 6 days.
100%. And he had kids, so like give them all out. Be like Oprah, like,
like
nugget for you, nugget for you.
Yeah, and like the rest, if you don't want to keep them for a couple days, bring them to like a food bank or something and just give them away. But like my fat booty would be eating all those chicken nuggets.
Oh, me too.
Like,
my voice is going.
Have a beer, have 6 chicken nuggets, have a vodka soda, another 6 chicken nuggets.
You can live off those.
Oh, 100%. I think, you want to know what? I call fake on that. He didn't by accident do that. He did that on purpose.
100%.
100% he did that on purpose.
Yeah. Just come out with it, dude.
Yeah.
You wanted those chicken nuggets.
Who wouldn't want 200 chicken nuggets?
I know.
Maybe not vegetarians, but...
That's true. A lot of people wouldn't.
They're not living life anymore.
So we're going to move on to our main segment, which is mostly about travel because Matt, he's been everywhere. I've been telling you to get one of those like big maps where you put the little things on the wall.
Like the pins or the scratch maps
because
or whatever.
Your map would be like full.
Yeah. There's actually, you can do one like online.
Yeah, but you need to see it in person.
I do have a big map on the wall. I just don't have any pins in it.
But get a corkboard one.
I was looking at that.
Because then you keep them forever.
Well, when we went to Blue Mountain,
yeah.
Remember the corkboard one that I saw?
Yeah, they're expensive, but like once you have it, it's kind of like nice to just like have all the things on there.
Yeah.
So yeah, you travel a lot. I don't travel a lot, but I've been to a lot of places. And so I feel like when you go places, you're going to have good experiences, and then you're also going to have some not good experiences, sometimes dangerous, sometimes scary. And I definitely have a couple stories of scary experiences that happened when I was in Paris and when I was in Cuba.
Yeah.
And I think you've thought of one as well. This one I did a story time about a while ago. My family and I were in Paris and my sister was almost kidnapped. Yeah. It was terrifying. We had been waiting in line to see the catacombs and it was almost closing time. And the staff kept telling us like, just wait, you might be able to get in, but we can't guarantee it. So we were waiting. I'm kind of glad we didn't end up going because I don't know if you've been to the catacombs, but I've
never been to Paris.
Videos. I've heard all kinds of stories and like, yeah, you're with a tour guide, but also like it's scary. It's underground tunnels and there's bones everywhere.
Yeah.
There's like thousands of dead people.
Yeah.
Anyway, we were waiting in line and it closed down. We weren't able to go and see it. So we decided to go, I don't know, to dinner or something. We were walking somewhere. And in Paris, a lot of people there are trying to sell you stuff constantly. They can tell when you're a tourist. You know, you look like a tourist. You got your cameras out. You're all dressed the same. Like we were with my grandparents and they always wore like the same outfits to like in case they lost each other.
Oh my god.
They could be like, oh, like they're over there.
Nanny and Poppy are so cute.
Yeah, so they always wore like the same striped shirt and the same pants and like the same like bucket hat. They're so cute, but we look like tourists.
When you got to Paris, did you guys get the bracelets? Did somebody give you them?
Bracelets.
So you know how when you go away places and somebody might give you like a bracelet, like, oh, it's free or whatever.
No.
Locals or whatever give you bracelets.
Don't take them?
Don't take them. It marks you as a tourist.
Really?
Yes.
And then they know to target you.
And then, so then they would know to target you.
I've heard a lot of stories about Paris and tourists being targeted in really negative ways.
Yeah, it's really in any city.
Oh, yeah. But,
like anywhere maybe not North America as much, but any European cities that are like, or Asian or South American, like that's how they mark tourists and to make it known that you're a tourist and an easy target.
So we were on this street in Paris near the catacombs, and it was very, very busy. It was super crowded, and we came to like a stoplight. We were all waiting, and there was this man who had a bucket of, I think, like water bottles and Cokes and stuff. And I've also heard that you shouldn't just take water bottles because they just refill them with tap water and stuff. So like he came over and he's like, it was in French, but he was asking if we wanted any. And we're like, no, thank you. Like we were very polite and stuff. And he kind of got agitated. He was like, are you sure you don't want any? Like take one. Like it's only $2. Like he was kind of getting aggressive. And we were like, no, thank you. Like we're okay. We have our water. Yeah. We start to cross the street and my parents are far behind me and Mandy. Maybe like, I don't know, 30 seconds walk behind us. We're far ahead just talking. Yeah. And we start passing the guy and he actually grabs onto Mandy's arm and starts running with her.
Oh wow.
And we're in a crowded space. At this point, she was probably 18.
Yeah.
I think I was like 20 or 21.
Yeah.
I immediately grab her. Like, I almost miss grabbing her. I pull her back. I take the guy's arm. I throw it off of her. And I start screaming right away because I want people to notice. And so my dad hears me scream. He runs over, picks the guy up, throws him across the street. Like, the guy was airborne.
Wow.
Okay? His water went everywhere. The Coke went everywhere. Everyone's looking at us now.
Yeah.
And, like, the guy just kind of got up and ran away because, like, obviously he was in the wrong. Like, you don't grab a girl and get away with her.
Well, you shouldn't be touching anyone in general. Haven't we watched the movie Hostage enough times?
Yeah.
So, like, Mandy could have become that.
And people get stolen all the time for, you know, bad circumstances.
Yes.
So I'm just glad I was able to grab her because the crowd was so thick that, like, if he ran off with her, I don't know if we would have been able to get her.
And you have no lung capacity either.
No, I can't run for shit. So, like, thank goodness my arms were strong, probably from all the freaking swimming we did back when we were lifeguards. But yeah, terrifying. You know, we had some good experiences in Paris, but we also had some scary times, and that was one of them. So be careful. Always hold hands. Always be close to someone that you know, and stay away from people trying to sell you stuff constantly.
Well, and that's the thing too. It's if you do choose to go traveling, and women are usually targeted more, and sometimes, and it's totally fine for women to solo travel, but you need to be aware of the risks of when you're doing it. Like, I'm a big advocate for go solo traveling, experience whatever you want to, but do it safely. Yeah. And if you're going to be in a weird situation, something like this is going to happen, you got to make sure that you are loud, you have enough self-defense skills, stuff like that, because I don't recommend solo traveling if you're not comfortable being by yourself and you don't have those little bit of skills that can help get you out. Yeah. Like in this scenario, Mandy had you and the family there, but if she was by herself and she just kind of didn't know what to do, she could have just been easily the little blonde girl taken away.
It was crazy because I guess she was in shock because she didn't make a noise.
Yeah.
Like he was dragging her off and she was silent.
Yeah.
I guess it was just like she didn't know what was happening. Yes. But yeah, so scary. And he probably thought that we didn't have our parents with us because we were so far away that it looked like we were alone. So thank God for my dad. Because he tossed the guy.
And the thing is, there's other countries where it's way worse, and that's in Paris, right? So it can happen realistically anywhere. It's just you need to be aware of your surroundings, especially when you're in a foreign country and you're not speaking the same language.
For sure.
Yeah.
What's your story?
Me and my husband, when we first started dating, we went to Brazil. He did like a year in Brazil. He speaks fluent Portuguese. So when we travel, we're aware, of course. We travel a lot, but we blend in a lot, especially for us too when we go to like Latin countries. When we usually go out, we were on Copacabana Beach, whatever. That's where we stayed, but we like to go out to gay bars as well.
Yeah.
And the thing you have to realize with when you go to different countries, it's not everybody has the same way of thinking. Everything's different. But we decided whenever we go to somewhere, we like to go to like a gay club if there's one available. So we went to a gay club, which is totally fine. We usually have great times. So me and him are just dancing, having a good time. And some guy like turns around and he comes and like kind of shoves my husband out of the way and like pulls me in close and tries to
my gosh.
Which it wasn't necessarily scary, but when you don't speak the language and you don't know what to really do in that scenario, and my husband's there as well, I don't want to lead people on. In Brazil, they're very like sex positive and like very sexually outward.
Okay.
And in North American culture, we're very like reserved. So, like, my automatic response was, like, put the arm up and push him like that.
Oh, yeah, shit.
Because, like, don't touch me.
And it's very sudden, right? So that's your reaction.
Yeah. So that was my big thing, was go like this and kind of push him out of the way. If I hadn't been to, like, gay clubs before, I wouldn't have known how to basically say no to guys and like, don't come on to me, don't approach me like that. Like, it was a scary situation, I would say, like, but it wasn't like terrifying, like being kidnapped.
Right. But it was like a sudden
like jolt, because if I were going to a club or in Canada or the US, you probably wouldn't get grabbed like that as often, but it's a different culture than what I was used to at that point.
Yeah. So after that happened, did he just like walk away?
I think.
Or was he pissed off?
I think when I put up my arm, I actually like hit him in the throat a bit.
Oh, shoot.
And so he like kind of tumbled back a bit.
And then he left.
And then he kind of left. But I can see from both perspectives of like, I was a bit reactionary, where it might have not have been the correct thing for me to do, but because I was looking at it from a very conservative North American lens.
But did he touch you?
He like pulled me in close.
Okay,
and, like,
yeah, I mean, I would probably do the same thing as you did.
Yeah, but it's again the cultural difference.
Right.
So because in Brazil they're very sexually liberated,
and everyone's doing that, and
everybody's doing it. So we're not even married, so I don't have my ring on, don't have any jewelry.
Yeah, maybe he thought you guys were single and you were all just kind of dancing, and
Whereas if that were to happen, I go to a gay bar in Toronto, maybe it's a bit of a different type of culture because of the conservatism.
Yeah.
When it comes to sex, but this one just took me really off guard because I wasn't used to it. Now I don't think I would necessarily like brace my arm up, because if some guy touched me like that in Toronto, that would be the first thing I'd do.
Yeah.
Now it would be like if I were going out in Brazil, I'd be like, haha, no, and just like.
No, that is scary though.
Yeah. I just imagine if like that's happening at a gay club, how would it be if a girl went to a regular club in Brazil?
Oh, trust me. Yeah, but not even just in Brazil. I've had my fair share of just guys suddenly appearing and thinking it's okay to just like be on top of you.
Yeah.
It's not fun.
Yeah.
Okay, so my next one happened in Cuba. This would have been, oh gosh, back in 2015 maybe. So I had spent a whole week in Cuba, and we had chosen, I didn't realize this, but it was like the farthest resort to get to from the airport. It was like a 2-hour drive. Mm-hmm. And then we had to go on this tiny road. It was very thin, right over the water. So you couldn't even drive on it if it was like a high water day. Like,
was that Cayo Santa Maria?
Sounds familiar. I don't know, honestly. Yeah. I don't remember. So like we had to go on this bus on this tiny little road to like, it almost looked like it was a separate island. It might have been that they just like attached a road to. I have no idea. So if it was like a rainy day, the buses weren't working. If it was like bad weather, the buses weren't working. Like, it was scary because you're kind of just stuck there. Yeah. Anyway, we spent the whole entire week there, and then we had to go back to the airport. And so they had 2 buses running that morning. And so we wanted to catch the first bus, but we just weren't on time. Like, we literally got there 30 seconds after the bus took off. And so we were like, oh, great, we have to wait an hour now for the next one. But we were like, fine, we'll just sit and wait. We find out that that first bus went down on that tiny little road and actually fell over on the side.
Yeah.
And a bunch of people died.
Yeah.
And we would have been on that bus. Like, it literally toppled over into, like, the ocean.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. And so thank God I didn't find out. I don't think I found out when I got on the second bus. I think it was later at the airport. I don't remember. But I just remember thinking, like, thank God we didn't go on that first bus. Yeah. But also, like, I felt bad for all those people who were ending their vacation trying to go home, and, like, something horrible happened. I know. But now, like, whenever I'm, like, booking somewhere in the Caribbean or, like, somewhere in the islands, like, I don't want to be at a random far, far resort. Yeah. I just don't. But I was young when I booked it. I didn't really think about it too much.
Yeah.
I don't know if...
That was probably when I was working at the airline.
Yeah, I was going to say, it might have been through your thing.
Yeah.
It was scary.
I can imagine that being scary, especially, like, I've been to Cuba, but I know the destination you're talking about. I've never been to that one. There has been accidents there from what I remember, and people say, like, it's a very kind of like unpredictable road, to say the least.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Like it's a gorgeous
because you're in
place.
like the middle of the ocean,
yeah,
really.
exactly. It's like this resort and it's surrounded by water, obviously, and like the little road is even beautiful because it looks like you're driving on the ocean.
Yeah.
Scary still.
I guess my only other story would be like, I think this must have been like 8 years ago now. I went to Spain, and we were in Barcelona, me and my friend, and then we were heading to the airport to take our flight over to Dublin to spend like a few days there. My friend actually ended up breaking her ankle.
Oh gosh.
While we were there. So I wouldn't say it was, well, for me, it wasn't really scary.
It was for them though.
It was for them, but it was hard to actually manage because we're in a foreign country, we don't really speak the language, and we have to work the healthcare system and figure out what's wrong with her. So I can understand Italian decently well, which allows me to understand Spanish.
Yeah.
But I can't respond back, especially with having a language barrier. I'm not very strong in Italian either. It's just kind of hard to navigate situations like that. So it was a scary situation because she ended up actually having to take a flight all the way back to Toronto.
Oh no.
Whereas I had to delay my flight to bring her to the hospital, but still go to Dublin.
Yeah.
And so then I spent like 2 days by myself in Dublin. It was fine, but it was like how to figure out the mechanics of how I was going to do it was difficult, I would say. And it was scary because that was like my first time having to deal with a situation like that. I knew how to do the first aid part. That was fine. But it was just like the rest of it of like, okay, how do I utilize travel insurance? Can I get my money back? How do I get on the next flight? Stuff like that. Because I wasn't going to go straight home with her because it was going to cost me too much money. She would have got protected by travel insurance and I would not have.
Yeah, that's like my worst fear, having a medical emergency off on vacation. Because it's like, what do you do? It's going to cost a lot of money. It's going to mess up all your plans. That's my worst fear.
Yeah.
So I do have travel anxiety when it comes to that. We're going to end off with some quick, kind of really interesting and shocking travel facts that maybe you guys didn't know of before, because I didn't, at least. I don't know if you heard of any of these before.
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't fully read the script.
Okay, so maybe it's good, so you'll hear it for the first time. So the world's longest commercial flight is 30 hours, which is insane, and it's called Double Sunrise. And it's because you see the sunrise twice, which is interesting. That's a super long flight. I didn't think planes could go for that long, to be honest. That's crazy. 30 hours on a plane, I would die. My anxiety could not.
That would just be long, like, especially if you're in economy. Like, put me in first class, why not?
True, maybe that would be better.
But, like, put me in economy and I'm stuck in a seat like this.
You're squished.
Somebody, like, leaning back on me, like, that just sounds absolutely horrible.
It sounds like a nightmare.
Like, I've done 15 hours and that's a lot. 30 hours is...
Yeah, I think my longest was 11. I think that was to Estonia, but we also had to make, I don't know how it went, but it was long. I think it was 11. 10 hours maybe? The shortest flight is less than 2 minutes, and this is operating between the neighboring islands of Westray and Papa Westray in Scotland.
Oh, I've heard of that.
And the shortest time for this flight has been 50 seconds. That's been the record. I'm sure they're not counting takeoff and landing. It's probably just the flight time in air, I would assume, because why would you need to go up and down in 50 seconds? It's probably also a very small plane.
Well, you can do the takeoff and landing in 50 seconds.
Really?
Yes, because it depends on the altitude that they're getting to.
True.
So, like, if they're not getting a very high altitude and they're just saying having to go across a causeway of water, then it would just be like kind of you're gliding on the water and then landing.
I think the shortest flight I've been on was to PEI. It was a tiny, tiny plane.
We recently just went to Minnesota, and one of our friends is a pilot.
Yeah.
And he took us up on one of those, like the little 4-seater planes, which was really cool. I got nauseous, not gonna lie.
Yeah.
But it was cool to see because he like flew us over like Wisconsin and like different areas in Minnesota, and that was like a 30-minute. I think it was like an hour flight, but it was cool to see like he worked this hard to get his own pilot's license.
Yeah.
And it was like, you want to go for a flight? And we're like, yeah, of course.
Pilots are brave.
Yeah.
Because you have to trust yourself to operate that.
Well, there was a 4-seater plane. We had to trust him.
That's true. You're putting your lives in his hands.
Yeah.
So he better be a good friend.
Oh, yeah. That was the thing. We were like, do we trust you? And he's like, I have like, I think he was like near 100 hours. We're like,
yeah.
Know the aviation world a bit. Sure, okay, I'll give you that.
Oh, gosh, that's terrifying, though. Japanese railways hand out certificates for delays of more than 5 minutes. And this is so that if you get to work or school late, your certificate will say, hey, the train was 5 minutes late, which is amazing because in Toronto, the GO train won't do that for you. Like, if you're late to work, you don't get a certificate.
No,
Imagine. That would be amazing.
That would be great. I hear the trains and the rails in Japan are like insane though.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
I see like they're pushing people just to get in
Yes.
during like peak hours.
It's like sardined.
Yeah.
That's my worst nightmare. But apparently, trains in Japan are said to be the most punctual in the entire world. Like, they are the most punctual. That's why they have these certificates, because they pride themselves on leaving and arriving right on time, like when they say they will, which is great.
That's cool.
Because I've had really bad experiences with transit, especially like back in college. Like, I'd be late for class and it wasn't my fault.
Well, that's good to hear, because I'm actually going to Japan in July.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
So it's good to hear like the
It's going to be good.
It's going to be good. The transportation's reliable.
Yeah.
I'm just there for sushi, to be honest.
That's why you're going, just for sushi?
Yeah, pretty much.
It's probably amazing.
Yeah.
But I also heard in BC they have good sushi. I wonder why.
Right by the coast.
Oh, true. Yeah, if you're by the water, I guess it's good. The most expensive airport to city taxi ride costs around $235 one way. And this is in the Tokyo's Narita Airport.
I think that's the one.
Is that where you're going?
Yeah, I think that's the one we're flying to.
That's expensive, especially because, like, from airport to hotel, it's not that far. So $230. This is, I think, U.S.
Yes.
I'm not sure.
Oh, that is the airport we're flying into.
Okay, good luck.
Yeah, we're going to have to...
That's like 3 meals for you guys.
I know. Yeah, we're going to have to figure out the transportation.
And that's taxi and Uber, so good luck.
Figure out if there's like a shuttle or something. I don't know.
You should have done this podcast before you booked. I'm just kidding.
No, the flights were already expensive to get there. So
I bet.
We're going for the 2 weeks, and like now I know we're not going to be spending too much money, hopefully.
Save up for just the taxi ride.
Oh, pretty much at this point.
Okay, this one's really interesting. In Ethiopia, the current year is 2017.
Really?
So it almost feels like they're still living in the past or something.
Yeah.
I think that's so cool. It says Ethiopia maintains its own calendar and is 7 to 8 years behind the Gregorian calendar, which is the one that we follow.
Yeah.
The new year also begins on either August 29th or August 30th. So not even in January. It's like summertime. They restart their year.
How long is their year then?
It's more than ours, apparently. But I don't know that part. But I just know it's 2017 there right now, which is really intriguing.
Interesting. I didn't know they did their own year, but like...
There is reasoning behind it. We'd be here forever if I went through it all. But they do have, if you want to look it up, they do have some cool facts about why they do that.
Well, it just seems like now that you say it out loud that our calendar of doing the like 364, 65 days, whatever it is, it's like a very colonial aspect, like it was made by Europeans and stuff like that. So it's nice to see remnants of something that isn't colonial.
But then I wonder how that would work with your age. I don't know if that makes any sense, but like if they have longer years or they would, I don't know. How would that affect you as a person? Do they look at age differently?
They probably do, because if you think about it, like we are almost 30. So then they could hypothetically be like looking at same physical appearance of wear and tear on the body, but they're only like 22.
So like if we want to go back and relive our 20s, we just have to go to Ethiopia.
I don't know if that's how it works.
I know it doesn't work like that, but like 2017, how old were we in 2017? Like 23 or 24?
23, yeah, something like that.
That's our next trip, Matt.
I don't know. I don't know if I want to go relive my 20s. It's especially my early 20s. My body I don't think my body can handle it.
No. Pilots and co-pilots do not eat the same meal before a flight as part of standard convention, because if one of them has food poisoning or something was wrong with the food and they're sick, then not everyone's sick, right? Only one. You knew that?
Yes.
I didn't know that. That's so smart, because you always have one at least healthy, feeling good person flying the plane.
When you get the bigger planes, you need somebody to be able to fly the plane. The big thing is landing and takeoff. If somebody's here yakking in the corner or having like rampant diarrhea,
you need someone actively doing it.
And that the cabin crew, like the stewardess, the stewards, they can't land the plane. They don't have the experience to do it. That's why you have those.
Yeah, so you can't share spaghetti. You can't share pizza. You got to bring different meals.
You're not supposed to even like share water.
Wow. Yeah. That is so cool. Yeah, because if they're incapacitated, you got backup. Okay, this one's random. Banana is a popular pizza topping in Sweden.
Messed up.
It would only be good, and I don't even like bananas, but I think it would only be good if you're having like a Nutella pizza.
Messed up. Nutella does not go on pizza.
What? That's like beaver tails in Canada.
I've never had a beaver tail, but that's messed up.
You've never had a beaver tail?
No.
I love beaver tails.
Have you seen those chocolate pizzas in the frozen pizzas in the store?
Yeah, that's like a beaver tail.
No.
Delicious.
No.
Wait, do you like Nutella by itself?
I do, but I don't like it in large quantities.
Okay, well that's why you're having this issue now.
No, I'm having the issues with the bananas. It's like the same controversial.
Dessert pizza.
Messed up. It's like this Canadian perspective that we have to put pineapples on pizza, and I was like born and raised in London. That's where I guess not born and raised, invented in London, Ontario. Wrong. I'm sorry. It is wrong. It is messed up. That is some next shit. Like, no.
I'm not going to argue with you. Listen,
pineapple doesn't belong on pizza, neither do bananas.
Agree. I'm just trying to find some logical reasoning here that they would do that. If they're putting the banana on cheese, you need to go to jail.
Banana on cheese? Oh,
yeah, if they're literally having like a tomato sauce pizza with cheese and then putting bananas on top.
But how would that even like cook though? Like,
ew, it's all mushy.
Yeah.
Ew, maybe they put them on after.
But do you do it with like a red sauce?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. It's got to be dessert pizza.
It's that's nasty. I'm sorry. There's nothing in the world that will make me agree with bananas on a pizza or pineapple on a pizza.
No, I agree. I like a good pepperoni, a margarita pizza. Those are good.
That sounds good.
I'm actually really hungry right now. I could use a pizza right now.
I could use some pizza.
The Eiffel Tower was initially greatly disliked by the Parisian art community. Upon opening, the iconic tower was labeled as monstrous and ridiculous.
I agree. It's a hideous looking building.
I agree in the daytime, but at night when it sparkles, it's gorgeous.
I get that. But like you literally have this industrialized block of steel.
Yeah.
In a shape of a triangle. Like, why would anybody imagine it being put up and people are like, oh my God, like, that looks so great. To me, doesn't look great. There's no useful function of it.
It kind of looks like a telephone tower.
Yeah.
Like, you know those big towers with the wires that go across?
Yeah, pre-telephone tower, before telephones were a thing.
Yeah, probably. Like an ancient telephone tower. Yeah.
And people flock from far and wide to go see this pointy thing that really serves no purpose.
I wonder if people in Paris defend it or if they're like, no, I agree, like it's ugly.
Yeah.
Like, I wonder if anyone's from Paris, do you think it's beautiful now? Yeah. Or do you think it's kind of an eyesore? Yeah. At night, I will defend it. At night, it is beautiful.
Put it on Reddit. You'll get some answers there. Ask Reddit Parisians, what do you think?
Yeah, do you like the Eiffel Tower now?
Yeah.
I'm curious.
I've never seen it in person, but just from the photos I've seen or the ones that they have in America or whatever it is, where they like the replicas.
Oh, the replicas. Yeah, that's weird too.
It's weird to do replicas of the Eiffel Tower, but it's also just, it's not architecturally like an appeasing thing to look at.
And listen, we're from Toronto. The CN Tower is not pretty either. You know what I mean? So we're not trying to bash places. Like, we know that in our own city, it's not that nice.
The CN Tower is so ugly. Yeah. Like, I've never been in it, but I still think it's really ugly.
Are we tower haters?
I'm not a big city person, so maybe that's
I'm
what
not
it
either.
is.
That's the problem.
We live in the middle of nowhere.
Beaches, however, gorgeous.
Gorgeous.
This is mind-blowing to me. There are currently 320,000 people learning Klingon. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Klingon. Which is the fictional language featured in the television show Star Trek. And they're doing this on Duolingo. Do you know why I'm upset about this? They don't even have Estonian. Do you know how many times I'm trying to learn Estonian and they're making fictional languages on the app? I'm so mad.
I'm actually not surprised by that.
At least put Elvish on if you're going to do that.
That's what I was going to say. They would probably have Elvish on before Estonian at this point. And this...
What do they have against Estonians? I want to learn Estonian. That's where my family's from. And they're like, no, Star Trek. Yeah. All these made up... They're going to have robot noises next. Like, we're going to be talking like beep, beep, boop, boop.
But these are like your people, though. Star Trek,
I'm not a Star Trek girl.
Star Trek, Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, all very closely related in the fantasy world.
Put the language of the Ewoks, I'm down.
Exactly, though.
But not over Estonian.
You got some people that are very much obsessed with this fan fiction, and they're like, I want to learn this. And then they just put on these random languages that aren't beneficial at all for anybody.
Okay, you're right. Because I am being a hypocrite, because I would learn Elvish.
Exactly.
You're right.
So I just did Lord of the Rings trivia again.
Okay.
In the movie, I don't remember which one it is, but they say the word Pendrith.
Okay.
And what's his name? Aragorn yells it out loud. Do you know what the word means?
No. Is it a swear word?
No.
What is it?
So everybody thinks he's saying cold or something like that.
Yeah.
Also, I don't watch Lord of the Rings often, so please don't kill me. It's Pendrith. Everybody thinks that it means hold your fire or whatever it is. And actually he's just yelling ladders because the ladders are going on the building.
Oh, okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, that's my only tip of the day.
Wow, you're like speaking Elvish now and everything.
I know. I've only seen Lord of the Rings once, so that's...
And you know actual words. That's pretty good.
Trivia.
You're never more than 30 steps away from a trash can in Disneyland, and the story goes that Walt Disney used to observe visitors in the park and see how many steps they took before littering. And so now there's garbage everywhere, which, like garbage bins, which I think is great.
I would believe that.
So people take 30 steps before they litter.
People are gross.
Yeah, people are gross.
People are gross.
Why are we still littering? I will literally stuff my purse with my garbage or like the pockets of my coat before I put them anywhere else. I will be a walking garbage can.
Just imagine how like rude of a person you have to be like, oh, the garbage is maybe
right over there.
Right over there. Far. Let me toss my Kit Kat wrapper right here. Like, that is
It's
gross.
not that hard. And people have like 8 pockets on them at all times.
Straight men got all those cargo pants with all those pockets. Like, you got 6 on one leg, 6 on the other. Make use of them.
Like, I know your grandma has a fanny pack when you're with her at Disney World. Stuff it in her fanny pack.
Yeah, 100%. People are gross. They're rude. And imagine having to be that poor worker cleaning up all of that. That was an investment on his future, and he didn't need...
They're probably getting paid well, though. Disney World?
I had a friend that used to work at Disney World. She got paid decently.
Okay.
She was at Epcot.
Oh, okay. I like Epcot.
Yeah.
It's like a big golf ball.
She was in the Canadian Pavilion, which was actually kind of funny. Because in the Canadian Pavilion, where all of the representatives are just in, like, plaid.
So, and they're not Canadian. Well, they're just from Florida.
The Epcot, they bring actual Canadians
Do they?
in.
Oh, I love that then.
It's like an exchange
program. So
program.
it's actually kind of authentic, a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, I love that. You don't need to wait an hour after eating before you can swim safely. Despite what your mother always told you, there is no medical data that suggests you can't swim on a full stomach. It's an old wives' tale.
100%.
Did your parents tell you that?
Yeah.
Like if you ate a sandwich and they were like, you gotta wait before you go swimming.
When it comes to stuff like that, we didn't have the medical advances to determine stuff like that.
In 2000?
This was even before 2000, like because they were learning that from their parents. And their
True, that's where they heard it from.
Exactly.
But it's always been medically known that you can swim.
I think it's been medically known, but I don't think the access to the materials.
Parents wouldn't know it.
Parents wouldn't know it, especially if your parents didn't go to university or like have any academic career.
Right. But let it be known now. You can eat as much as you want and go swimming. You might cramp up.
You might cramp up. It's just like anytime you do physical activities, you do a big cannonball, some might come in or out. Who knows?
But nothing bad will happen.
No.
If you're a good swimmer already, if you can't swim, then don't jump in after having a sub.
You might sink to the bottom regardless a bit because you're now fuller.
You're fuller.
Like,
if you have a whole pizza, you might be touching the seaweed at the bottom.
Yeah. Bring those knees up.
But you're not going to drown. It's going to be fine. Anyways, guys, that is the end of today's podcast. I hope you enjoyed it. Our travel talks, our history together.
Oh, yes.
All the things.
All the things.
Would you want to come back?
Of course, yeah.
You would?
I would come back. Not immediately, but I would come back if
Next week.
If you were to ask me like
in the summer.
In the summer, yeah.
Okay.
Now it's a bit too busy, I'm not going to lie. You know.
You live a busy life. It is hard to get a hold of you.
It's hard to get a hold of myself, to be honest. You know, if you don't book.
No, I know what you mean.
A couple of weeks in advance, I'm not.
Friendships in like your early 30s, late 20s, like they change, right?
Our friendship has always been low maintenance. So.
And I love that. I love that. I have lost friendships because I don't call people every day, because I don't text every day, and I'm like, okay, bye, because that's not how I am.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There's times where you message me and I'm like,
a week later
responding, or I call you right away. And I'm like, I don't have time to read this. Just sum it
let's
up
talk now. Yeah.
Talk now before I forget what we were even talking about.
I respect it. That's how I am. That's how I work. And I think that's why we've been friends for so long.
Yeah.
Because I've lost a lot of friends that are just they expect so much, and I'm not that person.
My communication is very short and simple. I don't like texting. I'll update you on my life if I need to afterwards, unless it's something pressing. And I think that's why we also get along, is because we don't have those expectations. Like, and we've talked about it before. Yeah. We want to hang out. We want to do stuff like that. But like, we want to know each other's lives, but like, we don't have the ability. Also, I don't have the social withstand to always be talking to people.
No, me either. Like, we're both very independent.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it works out.
Yeah.
It works out for us.
Yeah, I would definitely come back again. We just have to plan it well in advance again.
Yeah.
Mandy needs to get
pregnant again. Maybe we should book now. Yeah. Mandy will have her second baby in September.
No, she won't.
No, she won't.
She'll kill us if she hears that.
By the way, Mandy's all good. She's coming back in 2 weeks. Ty and I will do the episode next week, and then she'll be back. So second week of February.
Yeah. All
right, so thanks, Matt, for being here.
Thank you very much for having me.
And I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. I'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.